Turn your wounds into wisdom. You can have it all, just not all at once. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never ever have enough. True forgiveness is when you can say, "Thank you for that experience." Everyone wants to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. The biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams. If a man wants you, nothing can keep him away. If he doesn't want you, nothing can make him stay. Real integrity is doing the right thing, knowing that nobody's going to know whether you did it or not. I've come to believe that each of us has a personal calling that's as unique as a fingerprint. The best way to succeed is to discover what you love and then find a way to offer it to others in the form of service, working hard, and allowing the energy of the universe to lead you. I trust that everything happens for a reason, even if we are not wise enough to see it. Breathe, let go, and remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. Surround yourself only with people who are going to take you higher. Cheers to a new year and another chance for us to get it right. You get in life what you have the courage to ask for. Every day brings a chance for you to draw in a breath, kick off your shoes and dance. If friends disappoint you over and over, that's in large part your own fault. Once someone has shown a tendency to be self-centered, you need to recognize that and take care of yourself. People aren't going to change simply because you want them to. One of the hardest things in life to learn is which bridges to cross and which bridges to burn. You don't become what you want. You become what you believe. I don't want anyone who doesn't want me. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. Some women have a weakness for shoes. I can go barefoot if necessary. I have a weakness for books. You get to know who you really are in a crisis. Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them. Just find a new way to stand. Your true passion should feel like breathing. It's that natural. I believe that every single event in life happens as an opportunity to choose love over fear. When you undervalue what you do, the world will undervalue who you are. Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. We can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. Self-esteem comes from being able to define the world in your own terms and refusing to abide by the judgments of others. You have to find what sparks a light in you so that you, in your own way, can illuminate the world. You are responsible for your life. You can't keep blaming somebody else for your dysfunction. Life is really about moving on. Doing the best at this moment puts you in the best place for the next moment. Only make decisions that support your self-image, self-esteem, and self-worth. As you become more clear about who you really are, you'll be better able to decide what is best for you the first time around. Every day brings a chance to live free of regret and with as much joy, fun, and laughter as you can stand. Do the one thing you think you cannot do. Fail at it. Try again. Do better the second time. The whole point of being alive is to evolve into the complete person you were intended to be. I know for sure that what we dwell on is who we become. It makes no difference how many peaks you reach if there was no pleasure in the climb. Meditate. Breathe consciously. Listen. Pay attention. Treasure every moment. Make the connection. If you want your life to be more rewarding, you have to change the way you think. The big secret in life is there is no secret. Whatever your goal, you can get there if you're willing to work. To love yourself is a never-ending journey. Education is the key to unlocking the world, a passport to freedom. Luck is a matter of preparation meeting opportunity. You are where you are in life because of what you believe is possible for yourself. Your calling isn't something that somebody can tell you about. It's what you feel. It is the thing that gives you juice. And nobody can tell you what that is. You know it inside yourself. With every experience, you alone are painting your own canvas, thought by thought, choice by choice. Opportunity may knock only once, but temptation leans on the doorbell. You aren't your past. You are the probability of your future. If you're going to binge, literature is definitely the way to do it. Everything happens for a reason, even when we are not wise enough to see it. Whatever you fear most has no power. It is your fear that has the power. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. The ability to triumph begins with you, always. I've learned not to worry about what might come next. Difficulties come when you don't pay attention to life's whisper. Life always whispers to you first, but if you ignore the whisper, sooner or later you'll get a scream. I believe there's a calling for all of us. I know that every human being has value and purpose. The real work of our lives is to become aware and awakened, to answer the call. You teach people how to treat you. What God intended for you goes far beyond anything you can imagine. When people show you who they are, believe them. Life is about becoming more of who you really are. We are not human beings experiencing spiritual lives. We are spiritual beings experiencing human lives. The happiness you feel is in direct proportion to the love you give. You are built not to shrink down to less but to blossom into more. If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is, "Thank you," it will be enough. Running is the greatest metaphor for life because you get out of it what you put into it. Live your best life. Always take a stand for yourself and your values. You're defined by what you stand for. When you know better, you do better. I will tell you that there have been no failures in my life. There have been some tremendous lessons. Wherever you are in your journey, I hope you keep encountering challenges. It is a blessing to be able to survive them. Understand that the right to choose your own path is a sacred privilege. Use it. Dwell in possibility. The greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change their future by merely changing their attitude. Connect, embrace, liberate, love somebody, just one person. And then spread that to 2 and as many as you can. You'll see the difference it makes. Know this for sure. When you get the chance, go for it. Love is a lesson worth learning. There is one irrefutable law of the universe. We are each responsible for our own life. If you neglect to recharge a battery, it dies. And if you run full speed ahead without stopping for water, you lose momentum to finish the race. All pain is the same. So go ahead. Fall down. The world looks different from the ground. The best of times is now. What I know for sure is that every day brings a chance for you to draw in a breath, kick off your shoes and step out and dance. To live free of regret and filled with as much joy, fun, and laughter as you can stand. You can either waltz boldly onto the stage of life and live the way you know your spirit is nudging you to, or you can sit quietly by the wall, receding into the shadows of fear and self-doubt. Whose life did you touch? Who did you love and who loved you back? Marginalized peoples, excluded, minimized, shamed, are traumatized peoples because, as we've discussed, humans are fundamentally relational creatures. To be excluded or dehumanized in an organization, community, or society you are part of results in prolonged, uncontrollable stress that is sensitizing. Marginalization is a fundamental trauma. This is why I believe that a truly trauma-informed system is an anti-racist system. The destructive effects of racial marginalizing are pervasive and severe. Improving your life doesn't have to be about changing everything. It's about making changes that count. Forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could be any different. It's accepting the past for what it was and using this moment and this time to help yourself move forward. Life is full of many unpredictable changes. Let go of chaos yesterday. Cheerfully live for today. And look forward to tomorrow with greater possibilities. It's our imperfections that make us perfect in our own unique way. And since your brainstem can't tell time or know that many years have passed, it activates the stress response and you have a full-blown threat response. You feel and act as if you are under attack. Your brainstem can't say, "Hey, don't get so stirred up, Korea was 30 years ago." That sound was simply a motorcycle backfiring. I know for sure that what we dwell on is who we become. As a woman thinks, so she is. If we absorb hour upon hour of images and messages that don't reflect our magnificence, it's no wonder we walk around feeling drained of our life force. If we tune in to dozens of acts of brutality every week, it shouldn't surprise us that our children see violence as an acceptable way to resolve conflict. Surround yourself only with those who will lift you higher. We need to understand that victims of trauma are more prone to all forms of addiction because their baseline of stress is different. I think that God is always listening to all my prayers, and I have so many dreams in my life. That's why I am always praying that someday I am going to achieve all my dreams. You were seen, you were heard, and you matter. There's a difference between thinking you deserve to be happy and knowing that you are worthy of being happy. Your being alive makes worthiness your birthright. You alone are enough. All stress comes from resisting what is. What you believe has more power than what you dream or wish or hope for. You become what you believe. Delight thyself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. It's like joy rising. People believe marriage will make us better. What I find powerful is a person with the confidence to be her own self. Energy is the essence of life. Every day you decide how you're going to use it by knowing what you want and what it takes to reach that goal. And by maintaining focus. I always knew I was destined for greatness. Whatever your calling, it's already rooted within you. And those roots can be trampled or tugged at but never removed. They grow stronger only when tended, nurtured, and most important, shared with others. Being grateful all the time isn't easy. But it's when you feel least thankful that you are most in need of what gratitude can give you. Perspective. Gratitude can transform any situation. It alters your vibration, moving you from negative energy to positive. It's the quickest, easiest, most powerful way to affect change in your life. This I know for sure. Whenever I'm faced with a difficult decision, I ask myself, what would I do if I weren't afraid of making a mistake, feeling rejected, looking foolish, or being alone? I know for sure that when you remove the fear, the answer you've been searching for comes into focus. And as you walk into what you fear, you should know for sure that your deepest struggle can, if you're willing and open, produce your greatest strength. Living in the moment brings you a sense of reverence for all of life's blessings. Make a decision and watch your life move forward. When the talk about my troubles was loudest, I did the thing I've always spoken of most. I got still and listened for the answer to what is this here to teach me. The answer first and foremost. Lay your ego down. Step out of your ego so you can recognize the truth. As soon as I did that, I was able to see the role I had played in creating my circumstances without blaming other people. And bingo! I realized that all the noise about my struggle was a reflection of my personal angst and fear. There is no fun than helping to make someone's dreams come true, especially when that person is a young person and who really want it and really deserve it. There is not one experience, no matter how devastating, no matter how tortuous it may appear to have been. There is nothing that's ever wasted. Everything that is happening to you is being drawn into your life as a means to help you evolve into who you were really meant to be here on earth. It's not the thing that matters, it's what that thing opens within you. Forgiveness is giving up the hope that you can change the past. I think that when you invite people to your home, you invite them to yourself. Forgiveness is letting go of the hope that the past can be changed. Balance lives in the present. When you feel the earth moving, bring yourself back to the now. You'll handle whatever shake-up the next moment brings when you get to it. In this moment, you're still breathing. In this moment, you've survived. In this moment, you're finding a way to step onto higher ground. What I've learned from talking to so many victims of traumatic events, abuse, or neglect is that after absorbing these painful experiences, the child begins to ache. A deep longing to feel needed, validated, and valued begins to take hold. As these children grow, they lack the ability to set a standard for what they deserve. And if that lack is not addressed, what often follows is a complicated, frustrating pattern of self-sabotage, violence, promiscuity, or addiction. All life is energy and we are transmitting it at every moment. We are all little beaming little signals like radio frequencies. And the world is responding in kind. Follow your passion. It will lead you to your purpose. Say thank you because your faith is so strong that you don't doubt that whatever the problem, you'll get through it. You're saying thank you because you know that even in the eye of the storm, God has put a rainbow in the clouds. We are each responsible for our own life, no other person can be. He who dies with the most toys is still dead. The happiest people don't have the best of everything, they make the best of everything. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you'll never, ever have enough. No matter how far away from yourself you may have strayed, there is always a path back. You already know who you are and how to fulfill your destiny. And your ruby slippers are ready to carry you home. I know for sure that you cannot give to everyone else and not give back to yourself. You will end up empty, or at best, less than what you can be for yourself and your family and your work. Replenish the well of yourself for yourself. Just waking up clothed in my right mind, being able to put my feet on the floor, walk to the bathroom, and do what needs to be done, there is 5 stars. I've heard many stories of people who aren't healthy. For sure, we live in a youth-obsessed culture that is constantly trying to tell us that if we're not young and glowing and hot, we don't matter. But I refuse to buy into such a distorted view of reality. And I would never lie about or deny my age. To do so is to contribute to a sickness pervading our society. The sickness of wanting to be what you're not. I know for sure that only by owning who and what you are can you step into the fullness of life. I feel sorry for anyone who buys into the myth that you can be what you once were. The way to your best life isn't denial. It's owning every moment and staking a claim to the here and now. You're not the same woman you were a decade ago. If you're lucky, you're not the same woman you were last year. The whole point of aging, as I see it, is change. If we let them, our experiences can keep teaching us about ourselves. I celebrate that, honor it, hold it in reverence. And I'm grateful for every age I'm blessed to become. Duct tape is like the Force. It has a light side, and it holds the world together. My primary and most essential goal in life is to remain connected to the world of spirit. Everything else will take care of itself. This I know for sure. And my number one spiritual practice is trying to live in the present moment, to resist projecting into the future, or lamenting past mistakes, to feel the real power of now. That, my friends, is the secret to a joyful life. There is a sacred calling on your life, and the question is, will you spend your life flittering and fluttering about, or take the time and really heed that call and create your own path to your highest good? You cannot let other people define your life for you. You are the author of your own life. Real power is when you are doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing, the best it can be done. Authentic power. There's a surge, there's a kind of energy field that says, I'm in my groove, I'm in my groove. And nobody has to tell you, you go girl, because you know you're already gone. I plan to approach my future as one of great promise. When you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. What I know for sure is that every day brings a chance for you to draw in a breath, kick off your shoes and step out and dance, to live free of regret and filled with as much joy, fun, and laughter as you can stand. You can either waltz boldly onto the stage of life and live the way you know your spirit is nudging you to, or you can sit quietly by the wall, receding into the shadows of fear and self-doubt. Know what sparks the light in you. Then use that light to illuminate the world. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. It isn't until you come to a spiritual understanding of who you are, not necessarily a religious feeling, but deep down, the spirit within, that you can begin to take control. Start embracing the life that is calling you and use your life to serve the world. You cannot be my friend and use the N-word around me. I feel strongly about it. I always think of the millions of people who heard that as their last word as they were hanging from a tree. Whether you flounder or flourish is always in your hands. You are the single biggest influence in your life. Your journey begins with a choice to get up, step out, and live fully. When we meet someone, we form a first impression. He seems like a really nice guy. Frequently with no apparent information on which to base it. This is because attributes of the person evoke in us something we've previously categorized as familiar and positive. The opposite can happen if some attribute taps into a previous negative experience. Our brain catalogs vast amounts of input from our family, community, and culture, along with what is presented to us in the media. As it makes sense of what it's stored, it begins to form a worldview. If we later meet someone with characteristics unlike what we've catalogued, our default response is to be wary, defensive. In turn, if our brains are filled with associations based upon media-driven biases about ideal body type, or racial or cultural stereotypes, for example, we will exhibit implicit biases, and maybe overt bias. Become the change you want to see. Those are words I live by. Instead of belittling, uplift. My approach to living with purpose has always been to create the life I want. One conscious decision at a time. You can only be as happy as your saddest child. The energy we put out in the world is the energy we get back. So if you want more love in your life, set your intention to be more loving. If you seek kindness, focus your energy on empathy and compassion. Conversely, if you wonder why there are so many angry people in your life, look no further than the resentment you hold in your own heart. Do things you've always wanted to do. You are the single most influence on your life. Being grateful all the time isn't easy, but it's when you feel least thankful that you are most in need of what gratitude can give you. Perspective. Gratitude can transform any situation. It alters your vibration, moving you from negative energy to positive. It's the quickest, easiest, most powerful way to affect change in your life. This I know for sure. Before you agree to do anything that might add even the smallest amount of stress to your life, ask yourself, what is my truest intention? Give yourself time to let a yes resound within you. When it's right, I guarantee that your entire body will feel it. You become what you believe. And to believe that you are created by the power that's greater than yourself means anything is possible. From that day forward, I resolved to continually ask myself, how am I making things more difficult than they need to be? Your answer to that same question is the next step in your path. It's that simple. So long as you're still worried about what others think of you, you are owned by them. Only when you require no approval from outside yourself can you own yourself. It's true that when you summon them, don't worry about becoming successful, but work toward being significant, and the success will naturally follow. Ignoring your death is like dying a slow death. Your life is speaking to you every day, all the time, and your job is to listen up and find the clues. Passion whispers to you through your feelings, beckoning you toward your highest good. Pay attention to what makes you feel energized, connected, stimulated, what gives you your juice. Do what you love, give it back in the form of service, and you will do more than succeed. You will triumph. Books for me used to be a way to escape. I now consider reading a good book a sacred indulgence, a chance to be any place I choose. It is my absolute favorite way to spend time. What I know for sure is that reading opens you up. It exposes you and gives you access to anything your mind can hold. What I love most about reading, it gives you the ability to reach higher ground and keep climbing. Real courage is being afraid but doing it anyway. Every decision, setback, or triumph is an opportunity to identify the seeds of truth that make you the wondrous human being you are. The most fundamental lesson that you can take away from Super Soul Sunday is gratitude. Gratitude is its own energy field. When you acknowledge and are grateful for whatever you have, it allows more to be drawn to you and changes the way you experience life. Grace is transformative. The more grateful you are, the more grace mirrors the gratitude that you have. You will forgive because you love yourself so much that you don't want to keep hurting yourself for whatever happened. Whatever happened is done and cannot be changed. And we have to accept that and keep going with our life. During difficult times, I often turn to a gospel song called Stand. In it, songwriter Donnie McClurkin sings, "What do you do when you've done all you can, and it seems like it's never enough? What do you give when you've given your all, and it seems like you can't make it through?" The answer lies in McClurkin's simple refrain, "You just stand." That's where strength comes from, our ability to face resistance and walk through it. It's not that people who persevere don't ever feel doubt, fear, and exhaustion. They do. But in the toughest moments, we can have faith that if we take just one step more than we feel we're capable of, if we draw on the incredible resolve every human being possesses, we'll learn some of the most profound lessons life has to offer. What I know for sure is that there is no strength without challenge, adversity, resistance, and often pain. The problems that make you want to throw up your hands and holler mercy will build your tenacity, courage, discipline, and determination. Everything you blame, you're stuck with. Bless it. Wish it well. Wish it its own freedom, and it will be very powerful in the way that it will not come back to you. If you don't forgive it, if you don't bless it, if you don't wish it well, the energy will just be magnetically drawn back to you because it's looking for resolution. All negative energy that we've inherited, it's there because it's looking for resolution. The struggle of my life created empathy. I could relate to pain, being abandoned, having people not love me. So long as you're still worried about what others think of you, you are owned by them. Only when you require no approval from outside yourself can you own yourself. Mercy is like a mirror. I think mercy is what you give to others with a hope that it will come back to you. It's what you give to people who don't deserve it. It's what you give to people who haven't asked for it. It's what you give and it will come back. When you know for sure that you're on course and doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, fulfilling your soul's intention, your heart's desire. When your life is on course with its purpose, you are at your most powerful. And though you may stumble, you will not fall. Lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. The whole point of being alive is to become the person you were intended to be, to grow out of and into yourself again and again. As long as there is still breath, there's forward. What I learned for sure was that holding the shame was the greatest burden of all. When you have nothing to be ashamed of, when you know who you are and what you stand for, you stand in wisdom. Forgiveness is about letting go of the past and not holding on to it. You are not your circumstances. You are your possibilities. Your life is always speaking to you. It speaks in whispers, guiding you to your next right step. Please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space. I realize that for every relationship, not only do I have to be accountable for the energy I bring, but I also have to take responsibility for the energy that I allow from others. I understand that strengthening the bond in any situation is impossible if you're not surrounded by energy that lifts you up. Anyone will ride in a limo, but a true friend will ride the bus when the limo breaks down. Anda bertanggung jawab atas kehidupan anda. Anda tidak bisa terus menerus menyalahkan orang lain untuk kesalahan-kesalahan dalam hidup Anda. Hidup ini sebenarnya adalah tentang melanjutkan kehidupan itu sendiri. There is no greater gift you can give or receive than to honor your calling. It is why you were born and how you become most truly alive.